Hey everybody, it's Robin from Roaming with Rover, and today we're going to talk about the upcoming class that we're doing. We're doing the series of 2 classes to make a Mosaic Crochet notions pouch. Now, if you remember, we did the previous two class series of how to do Mosaic Crochet. We did those live, so we're able to answer everybody's questions and have the opportunity to really watch and see how this process is done. And as you saw, it's a very easy process. So in the first 2 classes, we learned how to do Mosaic Crochet. We learned how to read a chart. We learned how to do the envelope stitch, the side envelope stitch, which covered up all of our ends, so we didn't have to deal with weaving in ends, which is the big thing. And that's the big thing I think that stops the majority of people from doing mosaic, because they see all those ends and they're like, I don't want to deal with all that. Well, you don't. You do this envelope stitch on the side and it hides all of your ends. So this is what we made in our training class, in our learning series. It's just a little mug ruggy. I made mine a little bit bigger. I'm going to set a plant on it. So we learned how to do the Apache tier stitch, and it was quite easy to do. So what we're going to do on the second set is we're going to take a basic canvas bag and we're going to turn it into a beautiful notions pouch. You could use this for a makeup bag. You could use this for, some people have done smaller ones and use them for change purses. I've seen people make bigger ones and actually use it as a little project bag. So I'm going to link below the previous 2 lives so you can, if you feel like you need to go through them again and kind of remind yourself how to do it, how to do the stitch. And I will also link the upcoming Mosaic Crochet Apache tiers. And these are the 2 classes we're going to do. It'll take 2 sessions to go through how to do all of this. Some people do this just starting with a zipper, and you can just buy a zipper and we'll show you how to make it from that. But if you want it lined, you need some kind of a bag. Any small canvas bag. Some people have even suggested that they're going to get a pencil pouch, a zippered pencil pouch, and use that. Then your lining would be waterproof and you could wipe it. That'd be really good if you're going to use it as a travel bag or a makeup bag, because things do get spilled inside a makeup bag sometimes. So if you want to be able to wipe it out, then maybe a pencil case would be a good idea. Make sure, if you get a pencil case, make sure that this is fabric. Your zipper has a fabric edge, because we're going to start with taking our needle and poking it through that zipper edge, okay? So what do you need to have for this class? Very, very simple, almost identical to what we had the first class. You're going to need 2 colors of yarn, contrasting colors. It does not matter what fabric that your yarn is, what fiber. On the original one, a lot of people used cotton because they were making a mug rug. I didn't, only because I just didn't care and I wanted to use this yarn. This is just a basic acrylic that I grabbed out of my stash, and I'm going to finish this with the same yarn. So these are my 2 colors. You can, because this doesn't need to be able to, people were using the cotton yarn because the mug rug, they wanted the condensations, etc. for the mug rug. Doesn't matter on this one. So any 2 yarns you want, any colors, make sure they're contrasting. Again, I would not use a real dark color because you got to be able to see where we're putting those stitches. But if you feel confident enough after the first class, go for it. Whatever you want to do. You're going to need whatever hook works with that yarn. And I've got my beautiful hook from my dear friend Crystal, Crazy Cat Lady. Crazy Chicken and Cat Lady. You're going to need and this is important, you're going to need a darning needle with the big eye for your yarn. Does not have to be bent. I prefer the bent ones, they're my favorite, but make sure it's metal, not the plastic ones, because it's got to have some strength, because we're going to be going through the holes in this. We're going to be popping right through the side like that. So make sure it's got a little bit of strength to it. Perhaps a plastic one would work, but I think you're going to be happier with a metal one with a little bit of, and it's not sharp by any means, but it's got a little bit of strength to it. Okay, let me set this down so I don't lose it. And most importantly, you're going to need a bag. I have seen these at the dollar stores for, you know, $1.25. I have also purchased them at Hobby Lobby, and I paid less than $2 for them at the Hobby Lobby. You can also, I think this one came from Amazon, so you can also order them from Amazon. It doesn't matter what size you use, if maybe even you want a smaller one to start with, but this is a good basic size. I wanted something big enough to put my crochet hook in. That was the requirement for me, was to be able to put my crochet hook in it, along with a few little of my other doodads. Let's just put this needle in here right now where it belongs so it doesn't get lost. I'm really good at losing these. Okay, now it's in its little home, in its little bag. Zippered pouch, some yarn, a hook, a needle, and probably you might want tablet and something to write with, pen or pencil. I like to take notes when I'm doing these kinds of things, especially since the point of this is to ask questions and have somebody right there to show you how to do it and to answer your questions in the process. That's what is important to me. So we're going to run this exactly like we did the other one. It'll be a live, and it's going to start at 4 o'clock Pacific. We did it a little earlier so that it wouldn't be so late for the Eastern people. 4 o'clock Pacific, and it's going to be on the 14th, which is next Wednesday, and then the 28th, which gives you 2 weeks in between to get caught up with what we're doing before we do the finishing on it. I'm real interested to see how we finish the ends on that, with it being a project like this. Could be interesting. So I really hope you'll join us. If you enjoyed the first one, the Learn How to Mosaic, or if you already know how to do mosaic and just want to learn how to do an interesting project, I hope you'll join us. I do recommend that you watch the previous video just to kind of give you a reminder on how to do things. Michelle from Mosaics and More is the person who's going to be teaching us. I should have mentioned that a lot earlier. Sorry, Michelle. So Michelle from Mosaics and More, and I will link her channel down in the description box as well. Lots of information in the description box on this one. You're going to want to make sure that you take a look what's down in there. There's lots of good information on the regular, but on this one there's going to be a lot of stuff you'll want to know about. So take a peek at the previous video to remind you how to do it. Gather your supplies and be prepared to actually make this bag on the day that we do it. Again, that is the 14th. Let me double check that. I am notorious for giving the wrong dates on things. I lost it. See, I was going to be all set and ready to go. Yes, the 14th of September is the first class, and the 28th of September is the second class. That's when we're going to finalize it. Make sure you plan for those 2 days. We start at 4 o'clock Pacific, so that's 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, and we wanted to start it a little earlier so that the Eastern people aren't, poor things, they're always 8, 9 o'clock whenever we do anything. And so I wanted to make sure that it was the time frame was a little easier for a lot of people. Even if you don't have a project ready to go and you just want to watch as we go along, that's perfectly fine. Even when you're watching, you may see things and go, oh, wait a minute, what about this? What about that? Lots of good questions on our other ones. I asked a million questions, but some of the folks that were following along asked great questions and things that I hadn't thought of. And that's the whole point of this. We want you to be able to ask your questions while we're working on a project, not just watching a video, following along somebody else doing it. I want to show you the front, the back, the sides. Where do we put that stitch? Stuff like that. So you know exactly what to do when it comes time to do this on your own. I really hope we'll see you there. Thank you so much, Michelle from Michelle's Mosaics and More, for agreeing to teach us how to do this. It's been so much fun. And again, I was very surprised at how easy this was to do. And I had been afraid of it for years. So don't let the fear of learning how to do this set you back. Remember, with crochet, everything is just one stitch at a time. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.